Alright, welcome to my first modeling video. I'm currently working on a Ford Explorer here. It is not the model that will be featured in this video. This was my first model that I was working on, and I really wish I would have done a video for this one because I'm having a ton of fun just figuring out how to do all this. But I will be sure to do a finished video of what it looks like in the end. Meanwhile, I just got a package today. Here it is. I'm really excited for this box. It's pretty different. It's not your standard Ford Explorer, Ford Crown Vic, or anything like that. It's really interesting, and I'm super excited to get into this concept and get it going. So let's get into the box. All right, so let's get into this box. All right, so I just want to pause for a second right here. This eBay seller packed this in a Mary Kay box. And the tape says Mary Kay, with love, Mary Kay. I really hope that's not what's in here. We'll see. And here it is. Alright, so it's a 118 Humvee. And this thing is awesome. I need to get it out of its box. Alright, so here it is. 118 Humvee. It's a Hummer. And right now it is camo. Oh, look at that, the top opens. That's really cool. Trunk does not open. And there's a seal around the hood, so I wonder if that will open. Maybe the hood does not open. What I'm finding out. Yeah, I don't see any sort of hinge on this where it would open. So that's alright. Okay, so it's still a pretty cool model. All the doors open, so that's awesome. A lot of room to work in there, especially with this big trunk part. Alright, so there it is, the Humvee. Alright, so there's the Humvee. My concept for this is that I'm going to paint it all black, and I'm going to turn it into an Indiana Sheriff SWAT truck. I'm not doing any sort of county-specific thing because I don't think any county actually has a Humvee, although it would be really cool. And the graphics that I'm going to do for it, I'm going to have them cut in black vinyl. So I'm painting this black, and then I'm going to do black vinyl graphics. So even though they're a little bit thick for a 1/18 scale model, I think it's going to help them stand out a little bit from the black on black and not just wash in and blend in too much. Now, I have a friend who has a Cricut machine, so hopefully those graphics are going to turn out pretty nice. And let's go ahead and get those graphics started. Alright, so making these graphics here went in Illustrator. I started with a Sheriff Star that I worked with before for another model, so it was easy to trace out. And here I'm making an orange box. Now, when you see the white turning into orange, it's not actually turning orange. What I'm doing is removing the white because I'm making that transparent, so that'll be see-through, and that'll just show the black paint of the model underneath. And then here I'm just cleaning up some of the curves on the star. For some reason, they were kind of choppy. I don't know why I didn't fix that before. And then some of these circles on the ends of the points of the badge, they weren't perfectly round, so I went ahead and fixed those. And this one in particular gave me so many hassles. The roundness just wasn't gonna work with me. So eventually I just made my own roundness and laid it over top, and it worked. And now I moved on to the seal, the state of Indiana seal. I was filling in a lot of detail that I think wasn't necessary and probably would have caused problems when printing. Then I moved on to the word Sheriff SWAT. Now what I did is I made two different outlines of the letters, one in white, one in black. Then I removed the one in white. That's why you're seeing orange pop up again. Then I did the same process for SWAT, and that's how I got Sheriff SWAT. So I took that first star and I made it very small here. I duplicated it to make it very small. And I started taking out details instantly because it's so small, there's no way the detail's ever going to get printed in vinyl, let alone cut in vinyl. So I started taking out a lot of detail, filled in the tree here, filled in the buffalo, and then I worked on removing the bison's chin here. The problem is that I thought you kind of lost definition in the bison, you kind of lost his face, so I put it back in. And then I just removed some more detail throughout this and made some jagged edges straight, duplicated that twice. Then I imported a sheriff's plate that I've used before, an Indiana sheriff plate, and I cleaned up a lot of the stuff that was just kind of pretty dirty when I brought it in. So I brought new crisp numbers for the plate. Then I brought in a new star, took out the white, made it transparent to lay it over top of the plate. And then I wanted to check on a real picture of the plate, because technically the real Indiana plate says Indiana Sheriff. For some reason mine says Sheriff Indiana. Don't know why the state uses Indiana Sheriff instead of Sheriff Indiana like it says on all of the cars, but whatever. Brought in clean versions of the words Indiana and Sheriff to put on the plate. And then I took a barcode from another plate that I had to work on to make it crisp, brought that in there, and now I'm arranging things, scaling them up, and there's your finished product. Alright, so there it is. You just watched the speed art of me making those graphics there. So the plan was to do black on black with this model, so it's going to be painted black. Then we're going to put those vinyl graphics on. So the plan is, the big sheriff star, I'm going to put it here on the back part of the trunk of this model. The sheriff SWAT, I'm going to put either of those on this corner part here, on each side. Then I have the two small sheriff stars. Both of those are going to wind up on the front quarter panel, probably on either side of these here. So that's what I'm going to do with this model. I also have the sheriff plate that I'm going to put on the back. And I'm probably going to end up stripping the front Humvee plate off. I don't know, I'll figure that out. I'll leave it on for now and I'll just figure out if I like it in the end or not. So there it is, that's what we're going to do with the graphics.